If you want to be better than the entire world at anything, all it takes is 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours is the level of mastery. And if you want to be world class in any single place in the world, 10,000 hours is what it takes. If you don't know who I am, my name is Carter Positano. I'm a 22-year-old entrepreneur who has scaled multiple six-figure businesses in less than 3 years. And my goal here on YouTube is to not only be the mentor that I needed when I was 18, but the person that I needed last year, last month, last week, and yesterday. Constantly, I'm striving to be a better version of myself. I'm constantly improving and constantly growing. And my goal here on YouTube is to help people that are in a similar position as me. And even if you're 10 years ahead of me in business or 10 years behind, just starting out, or are at the exact same place as me, I think everybody can learn something from somebody else if you open your mind enough. And all the things I go over are what have helped me push myself to the next level and what continue to push me to grow and to prosper. And today I want to go over probably the most comforting concept in the world to me, and it is the 10,000 hours concept. Now, over numerous studies across hundreds of years, there's been a determination that if you want to master anything, truly master, I'm talking world-class pianists, world-class scientists, world-class physicists, the number it takes to master pretty much anything from guitar to computer sciences to engineering is 10,000 hours. Now, I know 10,000 hours seems like a lot, and it is. I mean, that is literally sacrificing 10 hours every single day for the next 3 years. But the thing is, and the reason it's so comforting to me is because I understand and I know that if I want something bad enough, I can get there. It doesn't matter if I want to learn a language, it doesn't matter if I want to learn guitar, or if I want to master coding. I can get there. And the thing is the difference between mastery and proficiency in a subject or some sort of activity is apples and oranges, right? Because to be proficient in Italian, Spanish, or French, it usually takes between a range of 300 to 600 hours. Less than a tenth, okay? Almost 1/20th of 10,000 hours. And 10,000 hours, sure, it's mastery, right? So we're all masters in our first language. Most people master their native language by a few years of age in school, right? So the thing is when we look at this concept, it's so comforting to me because most people don't understand what being proficient is. They don't understand that all it takes is time and practice. And everybody says practice, but I don't think enough people preach that, right? If I wanted to go to the UFC, I know deep down I believe in myself, right? And the first thing is, like, you obviously have to build discipline to do these things. You need to have dedication to do these things to become a true master. But when you look at someone in the UFC, if you really wanted to be in the UFC, you could drop everything right now. And in 3 years' time, maybe less, you could be a master. You could be at the level that any UFC fighter is. And all it takes is 3 years. So when I look at anything, right, it is outstanding how quickly you could become proficient at something. Now, proficient isn't a master, obviously, but I look at something like guitar, and I've talked about this in past videos, guitar or piano. Within 20 hours, which I think I've done probably over the course of a month when I first started out, I became proficient. I learned songs, I learned chords, I learned how to move my fingers, I learned the fretboard, I learned different keys, I learned different keys, I learned so many songs, and I learned to sing with guitar. And I'm not a master by any means, right? I probably still have under 200 hours in guitar, but I can play songs, and I can pick up a song, and I can learn a song, and I learn riffs, and it's the mind muscle that comes with that. After that 20 hours, you can play songs, right? So when people have this concept of, oh, it's not for me, it's not in my books, I really hate that. Because the thing is all it takes is time and practice. And most people don't want to look that in the eyes because they don't have the discipline or the dedication to do these things that they so much want. And they preach to people that they want, but they don't actually put in the time to do it. If you want to make $1 million and you want to put 3 years to any business, like truly 3 years to any business, you can make $1 million in it. You can make $1 million doing anything, right? And that is why the concept to me is so, it's the most comforting concept in the world to me. Right? Because if I want to be the best singer in the world, if I want to be the best producer in the world, if I want to be the best sealer in the world, the best vintage clothing reseller, right? I don't spend my whole day every day doing these things, but I spend every day learning because I'd rather be a jack of all trades than a master of one, to be honest, right? So I split my time into different areas, but I focus on things that I really care about. And within 3 years, I become proficient in Italian. I can speak quite a bit of Spanish. I can speak quite a bit of French. I learned Portuguese in 6 months, and I don't speak Portuguese anymore because the Italian really ruined it. But the thing is all it takes is time. And people really miss that concept because as long as you are actually putting in the time and the dedication in order to do these things, you can master anything. You can be better than anyone in anything. And people constantly push this to the side because they pick up a guitar and they strum 2 chords and go, not for me because it sounds bad, right? Then they give up. And that is the majority of people. They don't want to put in the time, but if you want to put in the time and truly learn a craft, you can do anything. And I think constantly about the fact that I'm still 22, right? And I've done a lot for myself as a 22-year-old. I bought a $1 million condo. I have vehicles I dreamt my life of. I have everything I could want for. I still want more. I'm not fulfilled yet, which I mean you can look at as too much consumption, sure, but there's just things for myself that I want, right? And I think about the fact that I've traveled 33 countries, 6 continents, and done all these amazing things and have all these amazing stories. And I've lived all of this life, right? And I've created this persona, this person that I claim to be on the outside. But one day I could snap my fingers and decide, I want this, right? And I could sell everything and I could fresh restart and I could go anywhere in the world at any point in time and I could become a master in 3 years at it. One day I pick up a cello and decide I want to be the best cello player in the world. 3 years, I could be on stages in front of people performing, right? Piano's the same way, guitar's the same way, skateboarding's the same way, basketball's the same way, soccer's the same way, football's the same way. Now, obviously, certain things like sports, they take a lot of dedication in terms of you need strength, you need size, right? But if you understand the game better than anybody else because you put 10,000 hours into learning it, I still guarantee that you can be professional at it, right? You could be a coach, even if you're not actually on the field, because learning it, truly mastering a subject, truly mastering a trait, truly mastering a trade is something that anybody is capable of. And I think people ignore that fact that they will never be good at something because they weren't born with natural talent. But the truth of it is, and there's a few books that I've read about this in particular. Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers is a great one. And on top of that, Laws of Mastery by Robert Greene are great books that look into these things and really taught me this subject to a different level that I think most people hear, because a lot of people hear, oh yeah, the 10,000 hours rule, laws of mastery, whatever, but most people don't in-depth understand this, right? Because most people look at somebody that is on a world stage playing piano, and they're like, that's awesome, not for me, I could never do that. But the thing is when you look at it, right, and this is the science behind it, if you want to call it the science, but it's more the studies behind it, and it's that most people that are graduating Juilliard at 21, 22, and then are on world stages for whatever instrument that they've mastered, have been learning since they were kids, right? Their parents put them into piano, or they went to high school. And when you look at it, right, when you actually look at the true numbers and the time behind it, the people that end up becoming masters in these subjects, in these trades, in these instruments, are people that have genuinely put in more time. And one of the comparisons Malcolm Gladwell makes in this is when you look at somebody that is in school for it, and the people that differentiate themselves from being masters and world class at an instrument compared to people that end up graduating very good at their craft but not at the same level, the difference is time. The difference is practice. And you look at the numbers, and most people, by the time they're in university, have already hit 10,000 hours if they've been playing an instrument since they were 2, right? So if you get into Juilliard, most of the people in Juilliard had the benefit and the fortune to be able to be put into an instrument at a young age. But the other side of that is you could have been in high school doing it every day when you came home, and by the end of the 4 years of high school, you could have mastered something on your own. And the same as the 20s, right? Most people, I love the idea as well of splitting your work day up, because realistically, we have 3 stages in a day for most people. This is not how my life operates because I own and operate my own businesses, but I still like to frame days in blocks, right? Different parts of the day for different things. And it's always interesting to me because most people work 40 hours a week, right? 40-hour work week. They work 8 hours every day, 9 to 5. You still have another 8 hours each day. Now you're sleeping for 8, so 8, 24 hours, right? But the thing is when you get back home, if you have 8 hours per day, right, you still have the ability to go and do whatever you want with that time, whether that's starting a business, whether that's playing an instrument, whether that's be reading, right? You can master anything in the time that you have off of work. Now, most people are lazy. They don't want to, right? They want to get back and they want to relax. That's why people are fat. That's why people are obese, right? That's why people don't go anywhere, because they're lazy, right? And I'm not blaming everybody. Everybody's a product of their circumstances, but we get to make our own decisions as human beings. And I have broken out of my environment. I was an addict. I was overweight. I was in a really bad place. But when I was 18, I turned my life around. I almost died, right? And I turned my life into a new direction. And I made the choice to break out of my environment. And that's why I'm not very easy on people. And that's why I show a lot of tough love on this channel, is because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own decisions, and everybody's a product of their environment, but you don't have to stay a product of your environment. You can leave. Everybody has a choice, right? And when you look at these things, when you look at the people that are doing great things, the only difference between you and them is they practiced, right? The only difference between you and them is that they put 10,000 hours in. I truly believe that I can do anything, and I truly believe that if I want to get somewhere, I can get anywhere I want to, and it's because I understand this concept. And the things that I've done, having this understanding in my brain completely changed the way that I look at things, right? Because it's not an hour into guitar and, oh my God, I'm giving up, because I did that when I was 10. I did that when I was 15. I did that when I was 16. I picked up something. I'm like, nope, not for me. I'm bad at it, right? But then I look at the things that I'm good at and I've been good at for my whole life. Things like gymnastics, things like skateboarding. I was sponsored when I was 7 years old. And it's like, well, how did I get sponsored? It's because when I was 18 months old, I stepped on a skateboard for the first time, and every single spare second I had, I skateboarded, right? Now, you could be a child prodigy, not because you're super talented by nature, right? But because you put in the time. And snowboarding was the same thing. I was a sponsored athlete. I was on teams, right? I competed. And it was because I put in the time to snowboard. When in the summers, I would go and do gymnastics to practice all the flips that I wanted to do and all the spins and all the tricks. And I had all these tools that I would use in the summer, and comparing that with skateboarding, it combined to enough time to be really, really, really good at something. And when I learned this concept of 10,000 hours, it clicked to me that this is what it is, right? This is why I was so good at skateboarding. But if I chose soccer instead, or basketball instead, I would be in the same area. And when you look at people talking about Kobe Bryant going to practice 3 or 4 times a day, you think to yourself, well, yeah, that's awesome, but how do you not get tired and this and this and this? And the thing is, you do need rest, of course, especially if you're trying to master a sport. But at the end of the day, it doesn't take a lot to just shoot, right? Shoot, dribble, right? So your practices don't always need to be the same thing. To become a master of something, you need to practice different aspects of it. The one thing in my life that I would say I have mastered is songwriting. And it's because since I was 10 years old, pretty much every single day, I've written a song. And I've written 10 songs in a day, 20 songs in a day. And I've become so proficient at songwriting that I don't even need a concept. I don't need an idea. I don't need an instrumental. I don't need an instrument. I can write a song like this about pretty much any topic. Right? He's been doing it for so long. My brain is formatted to create ideas constantly look at outside environments and create new ideas in my head. Now, I haven't mastered singing. I haven't mastered production. I haven't mastered recording. But the one thing that I have truly mastered is songwriting. And I think people avoid these things because they don't want to put in the time. And when you started something, you will be bad. But the comfort in it is that all it takes is time. And it doesn't need to take 10,000 hours to become a master at something, okay? If you want to be the best skateboarder in the world, yeah, it's going to take 10,000 hours. But if you just want to be cool and drop into a bowl, dude, 20, 30 hours at the park, you're going to be dropping in, you're going to be riding. You know, it's just a time under tension thing. And once you truly grasp this concept, your whole life changes and your worldview is now open to everything. You don't look at something and go, wow, that's so impressive, I can't do that. I look at people, I used to look at people with envy that they were so capable, right? And I was so incapable of things. And then you think about it and you go, I could do that. And now I don't look at people like things are super impressive, to be honest with you. I look at Olympic athletes and I go, I could do that, right? And it doesn't come from a place of arrogance or the fact that I'm disrespecting their skill. It's more so just like, it's more so the fact that I understand this concept of where did they start? They've been doing this their whole lives. Of course, they're going to be a master at it. And that doesn't take away from the fact that it's amazing to watch people that are masters at their craft, true masters. But you could be that. So I don't look up to false gods. I don't have idols. I don't have role models. I have people that I look up to. I have people that I admire. I have people that I admire, but I don't have anyone I look up to. Because you can do these things too, and I know that I can do these things. So if I truly want something, I'm not going to look up to somebody. I can admire their work, but I can be there too. And all it's going to take me is 10,000 hours. Once again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Carter Positano, and I'm here to be the person I needed when I was 18. I hope there was something you guys could take away from this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave video recommendations. And leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think of these videos and what you want to see, what you want to hear from me, because I'm here to help, and I want to be the person that I needed. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.